Hey everybody, welcome back. The last Shoegazer here. So lately I've been watching a lot of my fellow YouTubers ranking videos. Right now, a lot of them are kind of talking about a lot of their favorite slashers from different eras. Some from like the 80s, and then like more like modern day slasher films. And I believe pretty soon I'm going to kind of weigh in on that. I think I'm going to do a top 10 slashers ranking spanning all, eras, all decades. So there's just so many that I own and have seen, and all the different time periods kind of blur together for me, unless it's like, oh, that's definitely an 80s slasher film, or oh no, that was a little bit more recent. But some of those cutoff lines kind of start to get a little bit blurry. So I think I'm just going to narrow it down to like a top 10 from all decades, and put that up soon. But in that spirit, as many of you know, I'm a huge fan of werewolf films. And I thought it would be really cool to kind of kick off a ranking video, and see how many of you want to kind of weigh in on this, and rank my favorite werewolf films. So I'm going to do a top 5, because I know there's more slasher films out there than there are werewolf films. So to make it a little bit more manageable, because maybe your collections are a little bit more limited when it comes to werewolf films or what you've seen. But get the conversation started here, and kind of see if I can kickstart some ranking videos focused on werewolf movies. So here we go. Number 5, Wolf, with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer. This also has James Spader. I love his role in the Office series. That's my favorite television show, and it's funny to see him in that quirky boss kind of role, and then look at him in a horror suspense thriller kind of flick like this. So Wolf, I'd highly recommend this. I'm a huge Jack Nicholson fan, and I feel like this movie should get more attention than what it does. There's some different editions with different covers of this. This is an older one. But yeah, I love this movie. His acting is just, completely on point, and it is so cool to kind of see one of my favorite actors, transform into a werewolf. So, what more could I ask for? So, Wolf is number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Dog Soldiers. I absolutely love this film. It's very dark, gritty, just fast-paced, in your face. The kills out in the woods, and then in like the cottage, and the werewolf makeup and the special effects is just so raw and gritty, and so well done. And you can see from the director of The Descent, I'm a huge fan of The Descent, and what I just said about this kind of carries over to my feelings regarding, The Descent Part 1 and Part 2. The creature effects and makeup is just outstanding. So highly recommend this. Has kind of a foreign feel to it. It's just kind of breaks down all barriers of what people might think of as just like a classic werewolf film. It's so gory and intense. There's no CGI, it's just regarding the werewolf you know, the creatures. They're all wearing suits, and it's all, you know, makeup the way it should be done. So yeah, I love what it says here. One of the most explosive and purely enjoyable horror debuts since The Evil Dead. And then down here, it's a terrifying chiller in the tradition of Predator and An American Werewolf in London. So Steelbook edition here. I was really happy to find that years ago. Yeah, I actually saw a Scream Factory edition that I'm going to try to get sooner than later. It has awesome cover artwork, but yeah, I'd highly recommend Dog Soldiers. It is just awesome. I'd have to agree with that as well. Next one, The Howling. I love the cover on that. The original cover is that artwork right there, which I'm glad they included in the little booklet here. But yeah, just an awesome werewolf film. Very seductive. Once again, awesome, you know, creature makeup, special effects. Just has an awesome atmospheric feel to it. I'd like to get my hands on some of the follow-up films. I've seen 2 and I believe 3. And I picked up 2 at one point and looked at it, and the disc was all scratched up. It was a used copy, so I put it back. I didn't want it to skip on me. I'd like to get it looking a little bit nicer than that. But I've seen the Scream Factory edition of Part 2. I'd like to get that. I also own the Blu-ray Scream Factory edition that I showed on my channel. It's a double feature Blu-ray with The Fog. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. The artwork on that is just awesome. So, yep, The Howling. Next one, of course, a classic, An American Werewolf in London. Just so well done. Just an awesome, you know, ominous feel when they're out in the moors, and you can hear the howl out in the distance. It's just so unsettling, and the effects, the makeup, everything here is just really captivating. The acting, you know, spot on. It's funny at parts. It has everything that you'd want in a horror movie, and of course the iconic werewolf transformation is just you know, it's breathtaking. So this doesn't need a whole lot of explanation. This is, you know, it's a classic for any werewolf fan, any fan of horror in general. An American Werewolf in London. Love it. Just awesome. And next, come at no surprise, my favorite horror movie, favorite werewolf movie, number 1, Stephen King's Silver Bullet. I have a couple different copies of this. I have the Australian Blu-ray release that recently came out. I show that on my channel as well if you haven't seen that. But this is just a classic Stephen King story. Great character development there. Corey Haim does an awesome job. Everett McGill. Yeah, just really good. And also, if you haven't seen, I just recently posted a bit of a review of the sequel, the Werewolf novella that inspired the film adaptation. So yeah, just great. A lot of people give this some crap because the makeup looks a little bit cheesy and bear-like, but bears can be scary, so I don't care. They put a lot of hard work into this. I think it's phenomenal. Scared the crap out of me as a kid, as I've shared before, but yeah, just a classic in my opinion. The original artwork here is a little bit hard to find now. I don't believe it's out of print. I mean, you can buy it on the internet. But yeah, I'd highly recommend this if you can get a copy of it. Yeah, wonderful story. And some honorable mentions, not in my top 5 list, but fun watches at that. The Wolfman, Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins. Of course, the remake of The Wolfman, and classic. But yeah, this is really fun. It's pretty intense. But yeah, I don't know, some of the special effects, like the werewolf makeup and everything, it looks like some of it's real and some of it's definitely, computer generated, and a little bit, I don't know, a little bit hard to believe. But yeah, it's very, kind of has a dark, like gothic kind of feel to it. Great acting, top-notch acting. I just kind of wish it had a little bit more of, actual, organic makeup and some actual, like, practical, special effects and gore and everything like that. It's pretty apparent you're watching a lot of, computer generated effects and everything, but it's a fun time. I wanted to mention it, with the Wolfman there. So what do you think about the Wolfman remake? I'm kind of curious on that, as well as your thoughts on the other ones. This next one, Howl, I immediately saw that. I just said that I'm a big fan of The Descent and the special effects work of that team on that movie. Now, I picked this up. It was more of like an impulse buy. I thought it's definitely going to be a werewolf film. Kind of is, but this creature, I don't want to give anything away, but it's definitely not like completely a werewolf. I don't know, you're looking at a little bit something different there. Not only, looking different here, like with the long hair, just has a little bit of a different, I don't know, a different vibe. Definitely more of like an independent sort of feeling film, a lot lower budget. But yeah, the creature is definitely not just a classic werewolf. It's a little bit different, but fun at that. It's worth watching. I wouldn't highly recommend this, but yeah, if you're a werewolf fan, or just fan of creatures out in the woods kind of films in general, I'd recommend it. So, all right, guys, that wraps it up. Yeah, I'm interested to hear some thoughts on this, some comments, and I'd really like to see some response videos. What are your maybe top 5, top 10 werewolf films? What do you think of the ones that I showed, and the ordering of them? So yeah, I look forward to seeing that. So you take care, guys. Have a great one.